Hello guys, this is gonna be another short one in my car, my favorite place, my favorite spot. You guys check this hair out. I'm loving it. I had to make this video separate from all my other long vlogs or all my other videos because this is gonna be strictly nursing, and this is gonna be strictly for all of you guys who are in nursing school right now and are approaching the end of your semester. Normally, if you start during the fall semester for your nursing school, this would be like your last semester. And for those of you who are graduating, the NCLEX is coming up. So I'll be bringing up another up and fresh video for the NCLEX and anything new that I've learned about how the NCLEX is gonna be going this year. But this is gonna be specifically because we're in April right now. Probably by the time you see this video is gonna be May, but usually nursing school ends around May time, and some people may start in the summertime. I'm not quite sure, but this message is for you guys who are in nursing school, who are about to go to nursing school, who are finishing nursing school. This message is very, very important because it's something that I wish I had when I was approaching nursing school, when I was starting nursing school. There was one thing that I had a lot of struggle with when it came to nursing, and that was like figuring out how to freaking pass my nursing classes. Nursing school is very different from other programs, and other programs are different from each other as well too, but I think that nursing is very unique because obviously you're dealing with people's lives and you really need to understand the way that they want you to understand the material and how to apply it to your scenarios. And that I think is the most challenging thing about nursing school, is just being able to apply what you're learning right then and there, because they want you to understand how to apply what they're teaching you right then and there, versus other, I would say some other subjects, not all. When it comes to application, it might be one or two things, but not exactly everything. So you're not having to apply every single thing right on the spot. It's more of like you're studying, you're remembering what you study, and you're taking a test. Nursing is not that way. You have to apply yourself at clinical, apply yourself in case studies, apply yourself through group projects, apply to yourself during the exams, because the exams are very much NCLEX style questions to prepare you for the NCLEX. And NCLEX style questions are 98% case study, case scenario type questions. So I just wanted to make this video quite quick, not too long, because I want to give you guys the secret on how to pass your nursing courses. For me, if I had known this information from the get-go, I would have not struggled. See, my story is this. I came from a public school in Chicago, and it was in the north side of Chicago, not bad area, but it wasn't that good of an area. It was in a city. Excuse me, I'm in my car, so there's a lot of cars driving by right at the wrong time. But anyway, yeah, like not a bad neighborhood, but obviously not the best of neighborhoods. Schools were public schools, CPS, Chicago Public Schools, wasn't that great. I feel like I wasn't prepared very well for college, so I struggled when I started. Even like before being accepted into the nursing program, I really studied my butt off. Like I was studying all day, every day, and still not obtaining the grades and results that I feel like I should have been getting from studying so much, you know? So one of the things I realized is that why is it that some of these kids, obviously kids that came from like upper class neighborhoods, look like they take an exam within 30 minutes, they're done, they're out of the classroom. That's what I was noticing in school, like even before I got accepted into nursing programs. Like I'm here taking this, I study all day, every day, got ready for this exam, but I'm here like almost until the end of the class time, until the bell rings, like class is over, to take this exam, and I'm still got 3 questions left, and I still don't know if any of the questions I took were right, and I still didn't get the chance to go back and review my questions. Like it was so hard. Thankfully, I made it through all of my classes until I got into nursing school, and oh boy, did I get the reality check that I did not live in an upper class neighborhood with a great school that had great teachers that cared about the students and how to pass exams and how to like study and how to just, I didn't get that. So it was difficult, you guys. I don't even know how I got through nursing before even understanding the process of understanding how to study for the program. I did it through the grace of God until I said to myself, there has to be a better way, because these nursing students look like they're partying every weekend. They're always out. After classes, they're hanging out. They're not like spending all the time that I'm spending reading all these huge textbooks, going through notes and notes and notes. Like, they're not spending the time that I'm spending on exams, but it looks like they're getting through things faster. They're less stressed out, and they're passing, with flying colors. Meanwhile, here I go studying every single day, reading all of the books material that was assigned to us to read, and just spending so much time just on material, and not really able to grasp anything, because by the time it's time to start a new day, here I am struggling with still the old stuff, because I'm reading like thousands of pages. I said, this has to end. This has to end. It's not helping me. I'm borderline failing my courses. I don't know what to do. I need to figure something out. Oh, these eyebrows. So this is what I did. I started looking at the syllabus, and I'm like, you know what? The syllabus has exactly what we're going to be doing every week. They give us PowerPoints to follow through every week with the material. And they give us textbooks, pages that we use to refer back to the book for anything that we have questions with, or just to prepare before class. So, and now let me tell you, like, somebody would say, why didn't you ask like your classmates what they were doing to make things better, and what, mind you, and I was in a school in the middle of Illinois, because I traveled from Chicago to the middle of Illinois to go to college. So I was like 2.5 hours away from Chicago. And the area where I was for school did have a good number of diverse children, this time I call it children, diverse students, but not as many. And in the nursing program, I was one out of two black girls with maybe 60 other students in a classroom, let's say. So you get where I'm going. And all these students came from little villages, little towns around mid-Illinois, southern Illinois, who are not very used to diversity. So not to say that they were prejudiced or anything like that, just not used to, never seen black people, don't really care so much for establishing any relationship right at that moment. So I wasn't feeling so comfortable in asking questions to my classmates, and I wasn't so comfortable in formulating friendships because people weren't that open to me. It was more like, you go to class and get out, go to class and get out. I mean, that's how it was. So what I decided to do was to take a different strategy. I was no longer going to be waiting after class to go and read thousands and thousands of pages and then review the PowerPoint again, and just like, I just decided to stop doing that. And what I did instead was this. I would, prior to class, I would skim through the pages that were recommended for that class material on that day, just to give me an idea of what we're going to be talking about, so that I wouldn't go to the classroom without knowing anything about what's happening on that day. So I would just go to the book, skim through those pages, quickly read the title, quickly read the paragraph, like the first line, middle line, last line, just kind of like to get an idea of everything. So like, by the time I was done reading that way, scheming that way, I already knew what we were going to be talking about. I already knew what to look out for. I already knew what kind of questions to potentially ask. And then what I would do, and that would take me like less than 20 minutes. Then what I would do, I would take the PowerPoint that we were supposed to print out for that lecture, and then I would compare that PowerPoint to what I had already read. So I'm like, oh, okay, so this is what's happening. Then, oh, okay, this is where it is in the book if I don't understand it. Then I could just kind of quickly skim through that PowerPoint, and I already have a reference in the book of where it is. So anything that looked strange to me in the PowerPoint while I was skimming through it, I would go back in the book And because I had already read it, I kind of knew where to go in that section of where I could find a little bit more information about what was in the PowerPoint. So that in total would take me maybe 35 minutes of preparation to go into the classroom. So now you're sitting in the classroom comfortable because you're like, okay, I know what we're talking about. I know what this lecture is going to be about. And I kind of have an idea of the questions I want to ask. So that's what I did. And so then I will go into the classroom and the teacher is going more into depth on every single, I want to say PowerPoint screen. And then if I wouldn't understand something, then I would ask. Or, you know, if she explains something, then now I'll kind of know the answer. Or I kind of could talk, like raise my hands and ask for clarification on something because I had already prepared for it. And so then I would write all my notes down of everything that I needed more clarification on. So now here I go with a PowerPoint that has significant notes that are valuable, and I'm not spending hours and hours and hours on end reading unnecessary material in the book that the teacher does not care about you learning because it's not necessary for you to use or apply to your patients. You see, not that it's completely unuseful, it's useful information, but not for the purpose of what they're trying for you to understand. So this strategy helped me out a lot because I now was spending less time reading all of that extra material, and I was focusing on what was really needed for me to do, what was really needed for me to know, learn, and understand. So I did it that way. And then for the exams, now with that strategy of preparing before class, skimming through the book, looking at the PowerPoint, kind of filling it in with a little bit of what I read based on what I wanted to kind of like put into depth, or like kind of put questions down so that in the next day I can ask those questions or during the lecture time. So with that, and then those notes, and then sitting in the classroom and writing down more notes, and right after class, just skim through it real quick again. Maybe another 20 minutes. Now you really kind of understand what you did. So now by the time the exam comes, say like you got a week before your next exam, because nursing exams be going like, I feel like there's an exam every week. So by the time the exam comes, you have already all this knowledge and all you're doing, and you have exactly what you need. You have the PowerPoint and the extra notes that you took in the classroom to amplify what you learned based on what the teacher wants you to, because the teacher will not waste her time talking about things she doesn't want you to know in the exam. If they want you to know something that's not in the PowerPoint or that's not explained, they'll let you know. They'll say, you know what, we don't have time to go through this, but make sure you read chapter blah 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 blah, and the PowerPoint is online. So now you know that that's something that, you know, they didn't have time to review, you got to do on your own. But this is the strategy you would use, right? And so at your free time, then if you have it, then you can read all that extra stuff. Or maybe say you really can't understand something so well, then you can go back and kind of like really read and review word by word that particular item or that particular material. But other than that, that's the way to pass. Literally, it's by focusing on what your professor wants you to focus on and not spend all this time reading page 100 to 500 for every class. You know, it doesn't make sense. Your teacher cannot be asking you questions about why the color of the tubing of an IV line is clear. You see what I'm saying? Maybe the book will explain that, because it's saying that it's clear so that you can see the fluid that's going through it, so that nobody can poison somebody, you know. But you don't need to know that. You get what I'm saying? I mean, you need to know that, but you're not going to be testing that because it's expected for you to know stuff like that, you know. But yeah, like coming into nursing school for me as someone who was not medical, I had not taken CNA. I had never worked like in anything healthcare related. I went straight into nursing from like taking my undergrad like prerequisites. I got accepted into nursing school, I want to say my sophomore year, and then I ended up being accepted into the nursing program right around my sophomore year, right before getting into my third year. So I just got straight into it without any particular background except for like my prerequisites. So yeah, that's really the secret. That's really the secret. It should not be a secret. I feel like in the beginning of nursing school, every student should be prepared to understand how to prepare and how to study for every course so that it's easier. I figured this out a little bit late in my nursing career, and it did affect my GPA quite a bit when I graduated, because I feel like I grasped this technique way too late. It was like right around my second to last semester that I'm like, this is how I should have done it for my pharmacology class that I took, you know, the first semester in nursing school. This is how I should have done it. But I didn't know that strategy. I was spending hours and hours and reading material that wasn't sticking because I was so stressed trying to read all of these pages that what I was reading wasn't sticking and I wasn't remembering it. And at the end of the day, I'm exhausted because I did all that reading, but I'm still exhausted because I don't understand anything, you know? So that's really what I wanted to come up here and discuss with you as you're approaching the end of your nursing school, and as you are, or for whoever, like, I know some people may be done in June, some people may be done in May, so this may be a little late for you. But if you're approaching the end and you're contemplating whether you're passing or failing a course, maybe you haven't quite grasped your strategy, and you maybe it's that one test that's going to determine whether you're going to pass a class or not, and maybe this one class is going to determine whether you're going to graduate nursing school or not. This is a great advice. You know, this will help you in nursing school a lot, and I hope that you take it. And this is also for those who are starting nursing school, because it will help you a lot at that point. I wish I had this information right in the beginning. And it's also for those in the middle who are already taking nursing courses and that were like me, that figured this out kind of late, but still helped because it helped me pass. And nobody told me, nobody taught me. I just had to figure something out. I just had to stop what I was doing, because once you realize that you keep doing the same thing and it's not working, you have to like take a breather, take a step back and see what is it that you can change to hopefully get the results that you are looking for. So anyway, I hope this message was good for you. It was educational for you. I will see you again in the next one. Ciao.